Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm with the one and only, the amazing, wonderful Wolf, and this is obviously just a general share advice and not personal advice, as per the disclaimer. Wolfie. So just having a quick look at last night. You know when I'm saying that we just need these charts to do a little bit more. It's not bad, Wolf. It's not bad. It's found support and it's bounced. Now the reason it's bounced is the Fed have come out and said, listen, we feel that we can get this inflation under control.
Yeah.
And the market has rejoiced in those comments, and we've seen a lot of buying.
Yeah. Look, Dave, I think there's two things that really, I think, resonated with the market, right? Two things. So one of them, they gave them certainty about the interest rate rises. So they said, okay, we've done the 25, June will be another 25 and another 25 in July. And then we're going to go down to 25 basis points, right? So they're going to 50. Sorry. So I said 50 now, 50 on June, 50 in July, and then they're going to down to 25. So they at least gave the market certainty. The market loves certainty, right? Then, of course, they talked about, we've got the tools. We've got the tools to fight this inflation. So the market went, okay, well, let's see a bit of a rally then. As a result of that, they obviously liked what the tone that was projected by the Fed, which is nice. However, do you believe this bounce is going to be sustained, or do you think we're going to have a nice little rally and then come back again?
Listen, it doesn't matter as long as the market believes it. That's all that matters, right? Whether I believe it, no, I don't. And I think you know, the war and COVID has just caused way too much problems, and interest rates are going to go up towards the end of the year a lot higher than they are now. But you know what, Wolf? Let's rejoice. We follow the trends. We'll follow the market. Right. What it's going to do to get for us? It's going to give us hopefully a little bit of breathway till July, or maybe July and August, where we can keep trending and we can keep sucking some money out of this market.
So we want, Dave. We just want to keep taking the easy money in little lots, and everyone will be happy.
All right. So, mate, I wish there was easy money. There's certainly not, but it's but we try easier money. We try and make it easier anyway. So Wolfie. So a few ideas. We'll talk about some trends in a second. Just your opinion on some of the announcements today. NAB came out with what looked like a pretty positive announcement, Wolf.
Yeah, it was decent. I think it looked better on paper than in ANZ's was. So better profits. You know, I suppose all the banks were going to have a very similar outlook. I mean, they're not going to change that much. They're all doing the same thing. And we know what the environment's like. So for me, if I'm still a dividend type investor in this, nothing there to worry me whatsoever. I'm still sticking in there.
Well, for ECX, which a lot of the boys are obviously, you can see why they're trading it. Time to take profits on that, or I mean, it was a pretty positive announcement. It wasn't bad, but you're not has had a bit of a run from trend lines. You're not a huge believer in the story either, fundamentally, are you? You've got issues with it, which is
the sector itself, not the story itself, but this is sector. You know, the fleet management type stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. There's a lot of regulations going on, so for me, pass. And look, I'll give you a little reason why. I remember back when I was still in Perth, so that's probably about 7 or 8 years ago, there was rumors that the government was going to change the rules regarding, so the legislation basically, right, regarding some of this fleet management type stuff. The leader of this space tanked completely. They went down 50% in a day, right? So I looked at it, I'm thinking, this is a Christmas, because first of all, we don't know if it's going to happen, and we don't even know if the government's going to get in. That they announced all these changes, and lo and behold, didn't happen. Rallied back up, but it just shows what volatility you can have with a bit of policy change, right? So for me, nah, not the place for me. Trade it if you wanted to, but and the other thing is, it comes up with a pretty strong result, Dave, and it just doesn't move. That's it.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I'm saying it's like the market's, I think, taking this for the moment as far as it's going to go. So if you're in the trade and you're making some money, I'd be taking a profit on it. Wolf, by the way, I must say, not my cup of tea. That's a very English saying. I thought the Poles would say not my cup of vodka, or not my cup of tea.
Yeah, maybe at the moment, not my cup of tank.
You're spending too much time with me, Wolf.
Yes, I know. We're going to start speaking Wolverhampton language now, are we?
I'm turning you too posh. All right, AQZ.
Posh, please.
Wolf, AQZ.
Yes.
So I think the sort of takeover target price was around 475.
Very
Qantas,
cheeky, I have to say, Dave. Very cheeky. The price was there 6 months ago, really. So 8 months ago, right? Is it a good premium for the shareholders? Yeah, maybe 2 months ago. Yeah, it is. But if you bought about 8 months ago, you'd go, well, I'm just getting my money back, really. So I don't know. I mean, look, we talked about it just before, and we thought to ourselves, they're going to probably have trouble with ACCC allowing this to happen in the first place. And I don't think it's just not enough premium for me. So all that, I'm just not interested in the trade. If you think it's going to get up to that 475, too much risk.
Because I think we had this on Einstein 2 weeks ago. So last week it hugged that trend line. So maybe we might have people in this. So if you were in this now, Wolf, you're taking a profit.
Look, personally, yes, I would be. But, everyone's got a different agenda, of course. So, yeah, look, just remember the two factors here. Is this going to go ahead? No.
I'd be very, very surprised. I mean,
so would I. I mean, I know that we're on the front foot in an announcement this morning saying, oh, ACCC was very positive to our plight when we put in 20%, we had the 20% stake when we first did it about 2 years ago. Yeah, well, back then things were a little bit differently. Now it's a little bit different again, post-pandemic. So I don't know. I struggle to think, why would ACCC allow it? It just takes another airline out of the equation. So again, the duopoly between Virgin and Qantas.
Yeah, Wolf, and also an exciting sort of growing airline. It's a nice little business to see.
Yeah, and they're talking about that there's just a regional, catering to their mining centers. But is it? I mean, I think it's also obviously lends the planes to Qantas, and maybe it's got aspirations to expand and fly between a few routes, right? Yeah, anyway, I don't think it's going to happen. That's why it's really high risk, but you just never know. I mean, just my personal opinion, of course.
All right, Wolf. Want to have a look at WorleyParsons. So the other big news overnight was in Europe, where they've come out and basically said they want to stop buying Russian oil completely.
Mm-hmm.
You think obviously Worley, who deal with a lot of those businesses, but Origin, Santos, Woodside, and you can see that they're all up today. Mm-hmm. Long may it continue. These potentially could keep on moving and keep on trending quite nicely. Yeah,
look, it's just look. I've been thinking about this last night for sure when I heard the news, and I know it's a double whammy really when you think about it. So you've got sanctions going on Russian oil, which spikes up the oil price anyway. So in a way, okay, it halves their maybe where they can sell it, but they're getting double the price of what they were selling anyway. So it doesn't really affect them that much, if you know what I mean. So it just hurts everyone else that are actually in the Western nations that are buying and using oil. But I understand the reason, obviously, why they do it. They have to do it, and they have to win themselves off. So it's not an easy situation to be in, for sure. So, but it's definitely positive for your Woodsides, your Worleys, and it might keep going because they said that they're going to phase this out over the next, say, 6 to 12 months, plus maybe 2 years for some others, and maybe up to 5 years for some of those that really are against this. So, positive type for oil right now.
Well, certainly, if I was looking for a trend, I'd be looking at something like Woodside, Wolf,
yep.
At a buy around this sort of 31.76 level.
Yep.
Definitely have a stop loss 29.80 by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Target that 34.90.
Yep.
And that's not a bad. If it came off, that wouldn't be roughly around 9% return. That wouldn't be a bad little risk reward.
Yep, agreed.
The other story that sort of announced pretty well today was QBE.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you look at the chart, it looks quite nice. I think, Wolf, we should wait to see where this is. I mean, there's a good chance this is going higher. We spoke about it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
you know, the risk reward is a little bit tetchy now. It's 3 or 4% up to that resistance level. Maybe we should just have a look how this trades today and see where it is tomorrow. Maybe we could put it on tomorrow.
Yeah, I wish they came up with that update last week, not this week, because obviously last week would have been a great, because it would be nice and green candle. You would have gone onto it. But now the fundamentals now adding up with the charts. So I agree. Maybe the timing isn't ideal to get into it now, but at least you've got the fundamentals here, Dave. Where they're talking about positive momentum, even though it's a very tough environment. You've got a lot of claims on a lot of issues with natural disasters. Saying that, it's a really positive environment for them otherwise, because interest rate rises means their fixed interest instruments should do much better than in a lower environment of that kind. So definitely positive environment for them. They should do well. And I expect them to hit $13 sometime. I just don't know when, of course. So yeah, it looks okay for me.
All right, so we'll have a look at that one tomorrow. See how it's looking. Maybe just a little bit low. It's sort of edging up, and maybe someone could dive in. Listen, it doesn't maybe towards 3%, but just understand the risk reward maybe isn't brilliant now. And it's followed a bit of an exhaustion pattern, which you've got to be careful. And what you've got to say to yourself, how much of that run is already in what's been going on with the share price. So, exactly. Worley, which does look interesting, Wolf. I mean, the price action this week's been very, very, very good. And when we had a look at the daily. The daily's looking pretty yummy too. So I think we could look at trading this, Wolf. Because again,
on the daily, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a bicycle on the daily, but we're going to sort of maybe trade it a little bit more like a daily. I think we can buy it around this sort of 14.22.
Yep.
We can have a stop loss at say 13.90, and we could try and target sort of 14 around that sort of 14.90 level. Do you like the sound of that, champion?
I like it. I like it.
All right, that's good. A little bit more of an aggressive trade from Equity Story, but why not? Certainly, if it can make us a little bit of money, let's go for it.
Look, even this is the thing, Dave. Even this market, 2 or 3 or 4% profit is good. Is good. You can add those little things up, and you're still going to come up with a decent return maybe for a week. So if you can maybe find 3 of those Worley type trades for the week, take your 2 or 3%. There's your 9-10% right there.
Wolf, and look at these. Look at the war stocks again. Look at NAC.
Yep.
I had that breather, paid that massive dividend. I'm starting to go on with it, and WHC exactly the same. Fantastic price action, as is CRN. So
yeah, they're still going well, aren't they?
Yeah, CRN. So I think, wait till the end of the week, but they're all looking like potentially buys for Friday. They're looking very, very, very strong. They look absolutely excellent. On that note, Wolf, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, there's just a couple of other announcements today, and there were 2 downgrades, right? So we looked at the charts there; they were pretty terrible. So we're not going to have negativity today. Well, I'll leave them out, but just be wary, of course, of bad charts, because they tend to come up with bad announcements. So don't try to pick bottoms.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, look at BWX.
Yes, okay, you're going to show them so that you can see why you don't buy. You think to yourself, oh, it looks so cheap. Oh, I'm going to pick the bottom here because it's going to go up. No, it can go lower.
It's absolutely total. But also, it's in that sort of space, isn't it? Rising inflation is going to be very difficult for BWX.
Yes. Oh, actually, I do want to talk about one story. I forgot to actually write it down. AMP, because we looked at it. So they came up with an update today. So there was, I suppose, when you look at it, a tale of 2 halves. Banking going okay, wealth management not going so good. So remember, they will probably be left with the 2 divisions under the wings. So I think the market's still thinking that this is a recovery story, potentially, yes. But I tell you, you look at those numbers to yourself and you're thinking, oh, too much risk in those. I'm going to wait till the end of the reporting season, which is August.
Yeah, definitely. I think after such a horrible run over the years, you've got to give us a little bit more AMP.
Yes.
All right. On that note, Wolfie, thank you very much. Always excellent. and you can go and have some vodka now.
All right. Cheers. I'll get into the drinks right away. No problems.
The Polish custom. All right. See you, Wolf. See you. Take care, mate. Bye.